Hi, Rayanne. How are you?
Good. How are you? Good
I am
morning.
fantastic. Good morning. What about that weather out there? It's very warm,
I know I had to turn my AC on last night.
right? That's a little crazy to me. And you look very pretty in the red.
Thank you.
Thank you. You look great. So I appreciate you meeting me here today. I'm excited about this coaching session. What's your energy level for it?
I'm pretty excited about it.
Okay.
Coaching is something that interests me, and so further along my education, I'd like to be able to actually have a certification in coaching. I know there's an opportunity with
Yeah,
the EMBA
fantastic.
program to be able to do that. So
Oh.
this is exciting stuff for me.
Oh, cool. That is very exciting. So you're obviously familiar with coaching. I'm just here to help advise you. I'm not going to give you any advice itself. I'm just here to get you to where you need to go, guidance. I'm not going to tell you what to do or anything like that. Typically, coaching sessions are confidential. For obvious reasons, I cannot guarantee confidentiality today, but just know in the future they would be confidential. Do you mind during it if I take notes?
No, I'm comfortable with that.
Perfect. The only thing I would ask from you is just to be as honest as you feel comfortable. Do you think you could do that?
I think so. Let's try.
Awesome. Okay, great. So what brings you in today? What do you want to talk about?
I struggle being very detailed. I've been in an operational role for about 10 years.
Okay.
So I'm a year into this new role, and it's a much more strategic environment. And I find myself being pulled into those details. And I feel that hurts me specifically on a project that I'm working at.
Okay. What does that look like when you're too far into the details and not strategic enough?
Frustration, because I'm not getting my point across, and it's stagnant. So the job itself hasn't been able to move forward to the next layer.
Okay.
And sometimes I feel like I may be the one that is holding that back. And so I'm not connecting with the leadership. So it involves other leaders in the organization.
Okay.
And so I'm not connecting at their level. So I'm missing something in being able to get the point across. And I think sometimes it's because I get too detailed.
Okay.
And they just need to know, what is it? What's the outcome going to be? How does it affect my bottom line?
Okay.
And I want to sit and talk all the operational stuff with all of the customers.
Okay.
And I think they want to hear the other piece of it.
Okay. So if I understand you correctly, I just want to make sure I'm following. If I understand you correctly, you have a new role and you're used to looking at the numbers and the little things, and you kind of need to take a step back and look at the overall picture.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said that's for a specific project?
Yes. Yes.
What would continue if you continue to focus on the details in your current project? What do you think would happen? What would the outcome be?
And I think partially some of it's already started to happen in
Okay.
that they, when we have meetings now, they ignore and they're passive in the meeting because they're like, we've heard it already, same stuff.
Okay.
What need do you have? Do you have the contract? Are you ready? Where are you at?
Okay.
Right, and because part of this is having to show them what the outcome is going to be for this specific project, right? And it's a new contract, and we have to do a fair market value. You have to do all of the little detailed things, and I think that's where I'm stuck.
Okay.
All right, is because now that we've done all the detail, it's having to lay the strategy out before them. Why this is important, why they should move forward with this project.
Okay. So being able to take a step back and kind of explaining the details, but in a more of a layman's term type of thing?
Layman, and then you know how when people sometimes have they learn differently, they see different, and so where it's very detail oriented for me, and I get it, and I get the end result of what I deliver strategically. They're not there, right? They are definitely the ones who are. They just want to know what's going to cost them, and what's the impact on the rest of the organization that it's going to have them. But I want them to know all the little stuff, the systems that it's going to take, the financial impact that it's going to take, and so packaging it, I'm really struggling on how to get that across to them.
Okay. So long term, being able to think more strategically instead of so detail oriented. As you know, we have a limited time today. What would you specifically like to get out of today's session?
I want to be able to come up with how to message to different audiences. I think that may help because I think that being able to do that, I'm going to meet the needs. Because if let's say there's 5 people in the meeting. I'm definitely going to speak to those people who like the detail piece of it.
Okay.
But there's going to be people that want that, and that's really the struggle piece of they want the high level. And so how to get everybody on the same page and put my goals across, I think would be helpful.
Okay. So maybe coming up with just a few suggestions today, and then putting them into practice,
Yes.
kind of thing. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What would happen if you? What would happen if you continued to focus on the details?
Well, it's delaying the project.
Okay.
It's definitely delaying the project. Yeah.
Okay. What have you done so far to try to read your audience and come up with different ways of delivering your message?
I think that's where I'm stuck at, right? Because
Okay.
I haven't changed anything,
Okay.
And so the message comes across the same way.
Okay. What do you feel your obstacles are in this, or why haven't you done anything so far?
There's a new regime, so the leadership has changed over,
Okay.
and so I feel like I have to share the details because they don't know the history of what's happened in the last year, and so they've just walked in to this new project, and I need their seal of approval, and so that's why I said I feel like I just keep saying the same thing. Because I'm like, what? I need you to know. I need you to know all the years' worth of work that we've put into this. At the same time, I still need your seal of approval.
Okay.
Because we're not moving forward
Okay.
and getting the objectives done for the organization.
Okay. So you have new leadership, and you feel like you need to give them the details, but they're just asking for the overall picture?
Yes.
Okay. Why is it so important to you that they know the details?
They've made comments that I don't feel are necessarily true, and I feel that if they understood the detail pieces of it, that maybe they wouldn't be coming to the assessment that they're coming to, right? And so that's a challenging piece that I have, and like, well, wait a minute, I need you to know that this is truly, we spent time going to customers, and they come in and make these overarching, sweeping, I should say there's 2 of them, that have this perceived idea of what the outcomes are.
Okay.
And so I'm not trusting in what their perceived outcomes are because I feel I have the history.
Okay.
And so I think I'm trying to push too much from the detail side.
Have you asked them what they wanted, and what was their response?
One of the big things is that I have a great boss who's very good about saying, well, they need to know what do they need. And so they have 3 very specific things, and they share those specific things with us. And so I'm like, yes, we got it, we're right on it, and we hear what they need. But then I shift back into, well, this is exactly what we've done. Look what we've come up with. Our 3 things match what your 3 things are. But they just, maybe one says blue, but the other one says sky blue, right?
Okay.
And so it's getting those connectivity pieces
Okay.
of it.
What would, if you could, excuse me, if you had a magic wand, what would it look like? What would you do to solve this if you had a magic wand?
And if I could go into a meeting and I could get their buy-in and they could say, we get it. We're ready to move forward with that project. We'll take it to the pricing committee. We'll take it to our proposal assessment team, and we will help move the project forward.
Okay.
That, to me, would be a successful outcome because that's what's been sitting for the last 12 months.
Okay. So just to clarify, you'd like to find a way to communicate with them at their level, but to where they understand and get the buy-in, or you get the buy-in.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. What do you think an initial step might be? What do you think something is that you can do?
I think one of the things we haven't done is we haven't gotten our leadership support.
Okay.
Right? So I think that going to our leadership, who's new also, which means I'm going to have to share the details. I need their leadership. I need their buy-in. I need higher level support than just my level.
Okay.
And not that they don't trust us. I just think I need more senior level people supporting the program. And I think, because that's their peers. And so I believe that maybe perhaps these 2 individuals are hierarchical, and maybe they would get a better sense of whom it coming from their peers.
Okay.
There's not any disrespect or anything. There's just from that perspective.
Okay. What would need to be done? What would be the first step in getting leadership buy-in?
Time. Because they're new. And so everybody has their time. Everybody wants their air. And everybody's project is important. And so we're all clamoring, to get leadership to listen to what we feel the priority of the projects are.
Okay.
Because, of course, mine is important, but the next person's going to come along, theirs is important. So it's time, really.
Okay. How much time do you think is going to be needed from them?
If I could probably say I'm going to need 5 hours, and that is because there's an initial conversation where I would like to get comfortable with sharing the details with them, and then work with them on a plan. So then they're going to have to make time to meet with them as well. And so from that perspective of, giving us an opportunity, so there's that time of meeting with them initially, and then get past that and then move into maybe a strategic conversation, and then there's actually the meeting with their peers.
Okay. Have you plotted all this down yet to see
No.
exactly what the... Okay.
No, just in my head, because it's a very complex situation.
Okay.
And so just knowing to be able to share that with them.
Okay. How realistic is it to get this time with them?
I think in the next, probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks, it would be really challenging because we're at patient impact meetings are this week. So what tends to happen is they're in LA, and it's this massive training that they do for our plan of action for the year.
Okay.
And then they come back and they assess, right, what those meetings were all about. And so I'd say probably in the 3 weeks, it would probably be a little calmer. Maybe I could work with, they're gone this week, so maybe I could work with her assistant to try to plot out some of that time.
Okay. What else could you be doing in the 2 to 3 weeks until you have the opportunity to meet with them?
Maybe I could do some resources, some researching on what strategy looks like. I know even one of our professors had an easy worksheet that when you're talking about strategy, Professor Wolf, right? There's that, and maybe I could use her as a resource. I could actually fill it out and actually share it with her. I think she would be open to that, and that can be done maybe that might help. Right, sharing that with her. Now that I think about that might be a good opportunity. Going, hey, wait a minute, what do you think? How am I coming across? Am I coming across strategically? Here's the document. Here's what it says. Maybe that might be something that I could do.
Okay. How does it make you feel when you're thinking through that process?
Well, I actually got excited because I was like, well, wait a minute. There is something I could do, because when I say 3 years, right? 3 weeks. I'm like, oh, that's a long time. That's just continuing to add to my 12 months.
Right.
Then it comes 13 months. Then it comes 14 months. And I want to make it narrow. And so I want to be accountable as well.
Okay.
And so I think that's a good step, right? That's what this program's for. Use our resources. Use our resources.
Very, very nice. So how committed are you to taking the action of using Professor Wolf as a resource?
I'm excited. So
definitely
I am. I think we see her. We see her next week, the 18th and 19th. And so maybe at that I can actually propose to her that I'm going to put something together if she'd be willing to look at it via email.
Okay.
But actually have a conversation, maybe approach her at lunch and maybe even bend her ear a little bit at that time.
Is there any concern that you have, something that might get in the way of being able to do this with Professor Wolf?
I don't think so. I think it should be good. If there was any concern, it would just me being hesitant, nervous of approaching the professors. Because I haven't really done that yet. I haven't really said, hey, I need you.
Right.
I've been leaning on my EMBA team and not really going to the professors and using them as a resource.
What could you do to make yourself more comfortable, more confident in approaching Professor Wolf?
I have a coaching session this week with my personal coach, and so maybe bring it up to him. I have to set an agenda, and so outside of the journal that we do, I always like to come up with 2 or 3 things to meet in advance, and so I meet with him on Wednesday.
Okay.
And so maybe that's an opportunity to test the waters with him on Wednesday, put that as an agenda item, and then be able to meet with her on Saturday.
Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you in doing the getting support from Professor Wolf?
About a 9.
A 9? Okay. What would it take to get you to a 10?
And only because of my back, that if I'm not here, and so I hate to go,
Okay.
oh, I'm a 10, and then something happens,
Something
and then
happens,
I don't show up. So it's not that the overall commitment of getting it done is a 10. It's just I have a buffer right now for almost anything I commit to.
Okay. Is there an alternative if you don't make it to class? Is there something else you can do to approach
That's a
that
good
goal?
question. Definitely, I can call her, and I haven't called professors either, as opposed to just emailing.
Okay.
I should call her.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. So just to kind of summarize, make sure I understand everything correctly. In the long term, in the long run, you'd like to try to see how you can communicate with your leaders, because you're detail-oriented, they need to see the big picture, how you can communicate with them to get buy-in. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what I hear you saying now is you're going to use Professor Wolf as a resource, which I think is fantastic. I think she's a great resource. So you're going to use her as a resource. Can I get a commitment to you, a commitment from you that you will somehow reach out to Professor Wolf by next Sunday, a week from today?
Yes.
Okay. How do you feel about that?
Good. I
Good.
do feel good. I have an alternate way. If I don't get to
Okay.
visually see her, I'll call her.
Okay. So by next Sunday, you would have somehow been in communication with Professor Wolf. Potentially we can meet following that, see how that meeting went, and then go on to the next step of your long-term goal.
Yeah.
Selling
sounds
plan?
good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Willing to do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Okay. So do you feel like this session was beneficial to you?
Yeah, because there's action behind it that
Okay.
I can go and do it. So yeah, that makes me excited.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. Excellent. Well, thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure working with you today. So I appreciate that.
Great. I'm glad I could help.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.